All right. What's up, everyone? Had a long day at work. Decided to do some late night flying. Just chill out, hang out for a bit, and I take the LevelUp 737 from LA to San Francisco and back, depending on how things go. We're on the ground in LA. I've done nothing to the airplane so far. We're in a cold and dark state. So we're gonna hop into the cockpit and get everything all set and ready to go. With my flight plan filed. We are on VATSIM, so you might hear some ATC if LA or Oakland Center decide to hop online for whatever reason at 1:30 in the morning. Um, I shouldn't even be streaming right now. I should be in bed, but whatever. Um, from here, if you guys do not fly in the virtual airline space, I completely understand if it's not something that you're into. However, if you are looking to get into um, virtual airlines, I would highly recommend joining American Virtual. That is who I fly for. Um, since I've joined American Virtual and I've been a part of a ton of virtual airlines in my time flying on simulators and when I was studying to become a pilot after high school. Um, Full disclosure, I am not a real world pilot. I had to leave flight school for whatever reason for some personal issues back in 2015. So um, the dream of becoming a pilot did not come to fruition. But I definitely do keep my dream of aviation alive through the simulator. And there were a lot of years that I just found myself debating on where I wanted to fly, what airplane I wanted to fly, um, where I was going to go, et cetera, et cetera, which is when I decided to jump into the virtual airline space. Since I started doing the virtual airlines, like I said, been a part of a plethora of them. There's been a ton of them that I've joined. Some I didn't like, some I liked a lot. But American Virtual has definitely stuck out to me and has made a mark in the virtual airline space for um, all that they've done and what their objectives are to continue to grow. Um, so if you're interested in joining, the website is americanva.net. Again, that's americanva.net. Um, and if you are interested, you can use myself as a reference. My airline identifier is AAL1823. Again, it's going to be the American identifier 1823. And you can list me down as a reference for joining. And I can go over the how to join process after the stream when we're coming down to a conclusion. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to fly, chill out, hang out, listen to some music, hang out with you guys in chat. So let's hop inside the cockpit and get everything ready to go. So like I said, we're in a really cold and dark state. I have touched nothing to the airplane with the exception of connecting ground power. So we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and get the battery switch on, arm the emergency exits. Help if I get the sim sounds up. And we're going to connect the ground power. Airplane's coming alive. Here, we're going to just start with our flows. Put this to right, so we have some lights inside the cockpit. Let me know how the audio is. If it's too low, too high. If my mic is too low or too high, let me know. We'll continue down with our flows. Test the stall warning here in a bit. Hydraulics have to be pressurized in order to test the stall warning. Some panel lights going. Fasten seatbelt sign after we're fueled up. Cruising at 30,000 feet today, or tonight. And San Francisco has a landing elevation of, I think, 28 feet, 13. So we're just going to set this to 0. And that'll do that for right now. Weather in LA is pretty nice. It's, winds are 260 at 8, 10 statute mile visibility broken at 3,200 feet. Temperature's 18, dew point 16, 2998 on the altimeter. So the altimeter's set, ready to go. Let's head down into the tablet and get fueled up. I'm using SimBrief for all of my flight planning. If you're not familiar with SimBrief, this is what you're going to go to. It's simbrief.com. You just create an account. It's completely free. You can log all your flights from here and do all your flight planning. So calls for 12,992 pounds of fuel. I'm just going to go ahead and put 13,000. I'm just going to round it up. Make my life easy. It calls for a zero fuel weight of 121.1. So I'm just doing some quick math in my head. I'm not a mathematician, so excuse. That's good enough. Just take, what is that, 900 pounds off? So 6.1. 121.1, perfect. Alright, airplane's all loaded up with fuel. Get the fuel pumps on. Get the APU started. Excuse the frame rate. The Los Angeles airport that I have installed into XPlane is pretty frame heavy with all the lights and stuff that we have, so just head down into our flight management system or our flight management computer, FMC, whatever you want to call it. Position initialization. We're on the ground in Los Angeles, KLAX. Our GPS left position. Throw it into the IRS position. Route. LAX to San Francisco. Flight number today is American 1528. And we're going to be departing off of runway 25 right. Activate and execute that. APU is coming alive. I'm going to get smart cars thrown up on the screen just to show you. Not 2 seconds. There we go. Or not. I guess it doesn't want to let me throw smart cars up on the screen because OBS almost crashed doing that. So I'm gonna not do that. I'm just gonna throw it up on the right hand monitor. Just 1 second. Alright. We are just gonna head over to right side monitor. Okay, so this is American Virtual Smart Cars right here. Very simple. You can see on American Virtual's website. I'll just show you the website real quick. I swear nothing wants to work for me tonight. Alright, so this is American Virtual's website. Again, it's americanva.net. If you would like to join, you can just go ahead and click the join button. Read the requirements, see if you meet the requirements of the VA. You can check out the ranking structure, etc., etc. And then you can click the takeoff button here on the bottom. It'll take you to a screen. You have to take a small little test about your aviation knowledge. And then from there, someone in the staff will reach out to you with your application and let you know whether it was accepted or denied. So I'm just going to log in real quick. You can see my bids. I bid it on this flight, American 1528, LA to San Francisco, Boeing 737-800. 293 nautical miles in distance. From there, once you bid on the flight, coming into the Smart Cars application, you'll see that my bidded flight is right here. We are flying on VATSIM. The route that I am flying today is the Summer 2 departure, Stoke transition to the Surfer 4, and arrival into San Francisco. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it in the route. I'm going to get rid of this direct. That'll be my route right there. From there, you can click Fly This Flight. Flight tracking will connect to the simulator, and you can see we are now tracking our flight through the Smart Car system, through the A-Car system. APU's on and online. Click the generators, get the APU bleed going, so we can get some air conditioning into the airplane. Packs, power up. Alright, from here, I'm going to go into our departure arrival page, click on departures. We are departing 25 right off of the Stoked 2, or I'm sorry, Summer 2 departure to the Stoked transition. Alright, we're going to execute that. From there, we're jumping directly onto the arrival into San Francisco. We're going to be planning an ILS to 28 right. I already checked whether it's permitting for the 28 runways via the Surfer 4 arrival, no transition. We are going to be flying that via Eddie. So we're going to fly that via Eddie. If you guys are wondering where I'm getting all this information from, I do use Navigraph charts. You can see right here, this is the arrival chart into the ILS for 28 right in San Francisco. And if I get out of this, you can see that this is my flight plan right here. If you do not have Navigraph and you're wanting good charts and you're tired of using just the regular charts that are provided on Google that are not very detailed and very outdated, I would highly recommend using Navigraph. Navigraph keeps their AirX cycle up to date with real world, and from there you can plan your flights directly or import your flight plan directly from SimBrief. You can see here, down here, it's the Summer 2 departure out of LA. This is going to be the departure we're flying to the Stoked transition, which is up here. And then the arrival into San Francisco is the Surfer 4. You can see this is arrival at Eddie. And Eddie is our transition. You can see on the ILS chart, Eddie is down here. The mandatory is 6,000 feet at 240 knots. Also get airport charts. You can see this is LA's airport chart. Gives you a little sheet right here by putting your airplane diagram onto the chart to see where you're at. And yeah, I highly recommend you spending the $9 or $10 it costs for Navigraph a month, or if you want to pay yearly, you can. And get this has helped my flight simming tremendously, especially while flying on VATSIM, because you have to have access to charts when flying on an ATC network. It's imperative, because if you don't, you're going to get destroyed by the air traffic controllers. Alright, so our flight plan is active. We're going to come over to the legs page. We're going to make sure we don't have any discontinuities in the flight plan, which we do. We're just going to click Surfer, put it up there, and execute that. And everything else looks good. Into our performance initialization page. Gross weight of 134,000 pounds, CG of 8%. What's our flight plan call for fuel? Takeoff fuel 12.4. Got 6 in the reserves. Loss index at 35. We're cruising at 300 today. Flight level 300, 30,000 feet. Go ahead and execute that. Cruise winds, our average winds are 228 at 23 knots. Let's do this. Compute itself. 23 knots. Execute that. The ISO deviation of +8. Execute that. We are going to be lightly loaded today, so I'm going to do a 10-degree D-rate in takeoff. Do a 24K D-rate, climb 2 selected. Takeoff, we're going to be taking off with flaps 5. CG of 26.4%. Trim needs to be set at 4.75, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that. Something does not look right, so I swear. Okay. And for some reason, 10 degree does not want to give me degrade, so we're going to just go ahead and delete that and do a normal takeoff, set climb 1 degree. There we go. Alright, winds out of LA today, or tonight, 260 at 8. Winds are very light. Dry, outside air temperature is 18 degrees. I wonder if I set it here, if I set a degree here. That's fine with me. V1 129, rotate 131, V2 to 143. I'll do it for that. Set this page to our takeoff. The legs page over here. APU is on, fuel is on board, the fasten seatbelt sign on. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the jetway. Make sure our doors close, which sounds like they are. Alright, top altitude on the departure. We don't have any ATC online, so we'll really, honestly, I could just go up to our cruise altitude. Not altitude. Set 30,000 feet in the MCP. 143 plus 15, it's going to be 158. Set our V2 speed plus 15. Flight director master on, secondary on. Here we get some panel lights going. Auto brakes, excuse me. Set to RTO. Those panel lights going. Looking good so far. Ah, goodness, excuse me. Torpedo heat on. Anti-collision light coming on. Better pushback. Start pushback.
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
That looks good to
Great
me.
news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
We are going to wait for the tow to pop up. 122.8 in the primary. We got the guard frequency of 121.5 in this COM2. That looks good to me. We are at APU power, correct? Yes, we are. So I'm going to go ahead and go to ground services. Disconnect the GPU. So we'll wait for the tow to come up.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
It still blows my mind that this airplane is free. You've got the tollless airplanes that are $70, $80, $90, and PMDG from Microsoft that is, I think $70. This is a free airplane. It's a literal free download, and it is just as good as the PMDG in my opinion, if not better. I love the LevelUp 7.3. It's an absolutely beautiful airplane. I set 2,000 for VATSIM purposes, being we are on the network.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go.
Brakes are released.
Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
And clear to start. So we're going to come upstairs and we're going to shut the packs off. Pressurization, let our duct pressure come up. So we'll clear the jetway, which we are. Alright, turn them on. Come down here, we're going to look for our N2 percentage on the rise, which it is. We're going to look for 25% N1, then introduce fuel. It's 25%. Introduce fuel. Good start. Alright, good start on number 1, turn in 2. Start valve is open, low oil pressure alert is fine. N2's on the rise. It's 25%, introduce fuel.
Just about done here, go ahead and set your parking brake.
Set the parking brake, let the tow disconnect.
And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Alright, start valve has been closed. We got a good start on both. Engine Gen 1 and Gen 2 to the on position. When kill the APU bleed, we get pack started. Get our hydraulics going. Disconnect the hand signals. No amber up top. Go ahead and kill the APU. Looking good so far. Engine page up here. Alright, departing with flaps 5. We're going to get flaps 5 out.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Tow is disconnected. I'm going to Spirit Airbus over here. Nice. Skittles. Really wish they would have kept that livery in rotation. Very rare to see those. There's the pin. There's the signal. We are good to go. Now we're in squawk mode C for VATSIM purposes. Engine mode's over to continuous. Looks like we are good to go. Just gonna come up here and test the stall warnings. Stall shakers. Both are good. Alright. Brakes released. Our taxi out. Background lights on here. CP lights on. Let's floodlights down here. Do a quick recall. And taxi lights coming on. Taxiing down to 25 right via Bravo. Frequencies. Los Angeles traffic, American 1528 out of Terminal 4. Taxi 25 right via Bravo. LA traffic. It is always a good practice when you are on VATSIM if a controller is not online to call your positions as if the airport was not towered. There was no ATC, it was untowered airspace. Just so other airplanes in the area can understand where you're at, what you're doing. See, we've got an airplane out here that's flying, don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's a VFR airplane or not, but now he knows that we're taxiing down to this runway and we're on the ground in LA. Everyone's having a great day or a great night. Everyone's chilling, as am I. It's a very, very long day of work, so just decided to come home. decompress a little bit, do some streaming, fly some airplanes. So we taxi down to 25 right. It's a little bit of a lengthy taxi as we are down all the way on the west end of the airport. Go ahead and arm the auto throttle, arm VNAV and LNAV. You guys might have seen on the video up thumbnail that I have Thrustmaster listed on the thumbnail. However, I'm not sponsored by them. I just put their product information on the thumbnail of the video because that is personally what I use. I use the Thrustmaster TCA Airbus side stick. I've been planning on buying the Boeing yoke from Thrustmaster. I just don't have the money for it right now. Bills and all that. Summertime in Vegas can be grueling, so anyone that's experienced a midsummer in Vegas and experienced a ridiculous energy bill, you know what I'm talking about. You can just throw a couple $100 at a yoke for my simulator. Just the side stick is relatively decently priced. I think I paid $90 on Amazon for this thing, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love this thing. Now don't kill me that I'm flying a Boeing with an Airbus yoke or Airbus side stick. But if I had a yoke, I'd be using it. Really zoomed in there. Right, we are coming up to the end of the runway. Taxiing all the way down to Bravo 1. Take the runway. We are relatively lightly loaded, but I'm going to go full length just for, not precaution, but all intensive purposes. Coming up to the end of the runway, we're going to go ahead and simulate that ATC has given us clearance for takeoff. We are #1 in the pattern. Got our runway turn-off lights on. Logo and wing light. Logo light should have been on. I mean, it's nighttime. We should have had that logo light on, but, you know, again, not a real-world pilot. Wait for the landing lights and the strobes for right now until we start taking the runway for departure. Cross and hold short line. Go ahead and get the landing lights on and get our strobes going. Los Angeles traffic American 1528 lining up runway 25 right. Los Angeles. Alright. Let's get ourselves lined up. That'll do. All set and ready to go. Set throttles 40%. rolling, stabilized. And total. Airspeed's alive.
80 knots.
V1.
Rotate.
Let's rotate. Slight back pressure.
Positive rate.
Also, brake climb gears coming up.
Gear up.
Let's pay attention, Mike.
1,000.
It's 1,000 feet. I guess some nose down pressure, wait for that thrust reduction. This thrust reduction was at the rate of airspeed. Just for the flight directors, we're gonna flaps 1. Landing gear to the off position. Trim to maintain. Our flight directors. Flaps go up. And those strobes in the clouds are no joke. Still hand flying her for right now. Level up 7.3 hand flies so well. It's such a good airplane. Good so far. We're through 6,500 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and toggle autopilot on. The airplane do its thing. Brakes are coming off. Alright, after takeoff, flaps are up, no lights. Landing gear is off, auto brake is set to off, air conditioning, leads and pressurization are checked, everything's good to go. Anti-ice is as required and APU is as required. And we're flying. We're coming up to 10,000 feet, landing lights can come off. Turn-offs can come off, taxi lights can come off, low and landing light can come off. And we're pitching down to maintain our climb speed. We're just accelerating, everything's looking good. There's 290 indicated on the airspeed. That's going to be our climb speed for today. Coming up to a restriction on the departure for dark has to be below 12,000, so you can see the airplane's leveling off at 12,000 feet until we pass that restriction. It's very important that if you are on VATSIM Now, it's not as important right now because we don't have any air traffic controllers online controlling the airspace. However, if they were online, it's very, very important that if you get a direction from ATC to climb via whatever departure you are flying. For example, we are flying the Summer 2 departure. It's very, very important that if you get a climb via the departure instruction from ATC that you do not blow through restrictions. So at dark it says it needs to be below 12,000 feet. So the aircraft is going to maintain 12,000 feet until we pass that restriction, which we just did. Now you can see that the airplane is flying again, or climbing again. And now we're going to climb to our cruise altitude as there are no more altitude restrictions on the departure. Now let's say ATC gave us an instruction. I'll go ahead and turn the simulator down just a little bit, it's a little loud. Now let's say ATC gave us an instruction to climb and maintain flight level 230. You'd come over here and put 23,000 feet in your MCP, and then you'd click altitude, intervene, and reselect VNAV. Now the aircraft will fly to 23,000 feet unrestricted. There's 18,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and click standard on the altimeters. Make sure we check 1, 2, and 3. Standard on all 3. And we are flying. So we climbed over cruise altitude at 30,000 feet. We will be on our way to San Francisco. You guys can see here on smart cars, American Virtual, you can see that the software is tracking this flight. This is what, when this flight is completed, I can submit this PIREP. PIREP stands for Pilot Report. I don't know why I got a stalling. It's weird. Smart Cars 3, version 3, is a brand new version of Smart Cars. They were on version 2 for the longest time, but we were on the ground, and I got a stalling report, which makes no sense, but it is what it is. You can see it's been tracking our flight ever since we started the software. So we are on our way to the Bay Area, flying home all those 49er fans. Great game. The 49ers and Rams game was a fantastic game. San Francisco played lights out against them. I'm not a 49er fan, but I do like their team a lot. I like a lot of their players. You know, Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy, you can't argue with that. The guy's a superstar. He's won every single game with the exception of one, and I don't even count that because the guy got injured in the playoffs, but every single game he has started, he has won. So, you know, I think San Francisco has a diamond in the rough with Brock Purdy, and I'm super happy that they started him this season. I was going to be very upset if they started Trey Lance. Not to discredit Trey Lance. Trey Lance is a great quarterback, but Brock Purdy's just something special. I'm a Saints fan, so trying to get used to this Derek Carr offense. I have faith in Derek Carr, but, you know, his track record with the Raiders, you know, is not the best. Granted, you know, Raiders aren't the best organization. That's coming from a Las Vegas native. They're not the best organization. I can imagine being a quarterback for a team and working under 6 different head coaches in my tenure there, and seeing all the crap that's gone on with that organization. So hopefully the Saints can do him right, and he can get us back to where we were when Breeze was with us, get us back into the playoffs and potentially a Super Bowl run. God willing, the refs don't screw us like they did against the Rams so many years ago. If you're a football fan, let me know in the comments down below what your team is. I can sit here and talk football all day. Turn the simulator down just a little bit more. Not much to see out there. Only thing I don't like about the LevelUp 737 is you can see some of the cockpit textures in this glass reflection on the windows. Like you can see this, the radio stack down here. You have your primary flight display and the MCP up here. That, you know, I've looked into so many ways of fixing that, but there's just no way to do it from what I can see. So, if you guys know a way, let me know. I'd love to get rid of that. And it's only at nighttime. You can only see it at night. Anyone who flies XPlane knows that XPlane nighttime is just, it is legitimate nighttime. You can't barely see a thing in the middle of nowhere. I come over to the left side of the airplane, I mean, there's just nothing. We are at 30,000 feet. Looks like we're going to be cruising for about 160 miles. We got 150, 147 nautical miles until our top descent. So go ahead and let everybody up in the back, stretch their legs. And we're cruising. I'm just looking through some stuff on my Discord real quick. Speaking of Discord, if you wish to join, I'm in the process of creating it. So you have to give me a little bit of time time to get everything set up and ready to go. But if you wish to, I apologize, I'm just reading some stuff. Alright, sorry, I was fixing something real quick. If you wish to join my Discord, again, you have to give me some time. I just started creating it a couple of nights ago, so I'm in the process of creating a bunch of different categories within the Discord and having users have the ability to react with an emoji to whichever category they'd like to see on their left-hand side, which obviously you'll have access to the welcome, server rules, announcements, live stream alerts, YouTube uploads, etc., etc. But I'm going to have different gaming categories in the Discord, like flight simulation, Formula 1, because I'm a huge F1 fan and I love the F1 games. Grand Theft Auto roleplays, it's something I've been doing for a long time. I love GTA 5 roleplay and the 5M servers, Call of Duty, etc., etc. You'll have the ability to react to specific categories with an emoji and be able to see the categories and chats that have been created for those specific categories, i.e. Call of Duty. You'll have a COD chat, COD news, Warzone news. If you're looking for a team to play with, there's a chat for that. Clips and videos. If you've just absolutely destroyed someone in a game, you can clip it, upload it. Party channels, Warzone parties, etc., etc., and then just a regular voice chat. But if you wish not to see Call of Duty because you're not a Call of Duty player, you don't have to react to that. You won't see it. It's going to be the awesome thing about it. So if you'd like to join the Discord, the link is going to be below. The link is going to be below in the description of the video. Excuse me. And just make sure you read over my server rules because at the end of the day, this is a online environment, and people online can kind of suck sometimes. And there is a zero toleration environment. There's a zero tolerance for specific things. So make sure you read over the rules for the server. Just follow them and you'll stay cool. But I'll be posting live stream alerts and YouTube uploads in that Discord so you can get alerted every time. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, just make sure you click the bell, keep the notifications on, so when I go live or upload a video, you'll see that. I really hope this YouTube thing can take off, man. I've been thinking about live streaming and uploading videos to YouTube and all that kind of stuff for the longest time, and I just never did it. But now that I have a little bit more of an understanding of live streaming and how it works and OBS and different kinds of things when it comes to Discord servers and creating a website if I feel to do so. I just want to share my passion for gaming and the rest of the things like flight simulation and Formula 1 and podcasts with my friends. I have a really diverse friend group and a lot of them are funny people. So, we were thinking about doing a podcast and just sitting here bullshit and talking about things, a bunch of random things and just getting into, the nitty gritty of our lives. So I'm hoping that one day this channel can just take off and, I can live my dream of wanting to live stream and be a content creator full time and go from there because, my real life dreams of career aspects and all that kind of stuff just haven't come to fruition. And, the current job that I work at, although I love what I do, is not something that I want to do for the rest of my life. And for those that want to share my journey on YouTube and, live streaming and et cetera, this is the platform that I've created to do it. So You know, I play all sorts of games. I play Call of Duty. I play the Formula 1 games. When Forza comes out with their new motorsport, Forza Motorsport 8, that's a game I'm going to be digesting into heavily. And, you know, just doing some motorsport racing because I love motorsport racing. I love the street racing games too, but they're just not what they used to be. You know, I was a huge Midnight Club player back in the day. You know, Midnight Club 1, Midnight Club 2. Midnight Club 2 still to this day is my all-time favorite street racing game ever created. That's something I still, you know, at 27 years old, that's a game I played when I was 10, man. I still to this day, because they had it on Steam for $5, I bought it and I still go back and play that game because it's such a nostalgic game for me to go back and relive my childhood. But the street racing games that they've come out with today, like the Need for Speeds and Crew, like Crew Motorfest is something that I want to take a look into. But to me, it just kind of looks like a Forza Horizon hybrid. Now, granted, the car sounds in that game sound phenomenal, but you know, I've played Forza Horizon, you know, doing cruises with my friends and showing our builds and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't plan on, you know, just doing one thing on this channel. I don't want to just keep my channel subjected to one game. You know, you have your Call of Duty content creators, you have your, you know, your Apex content creators, you have your roleplay, GTA 5 and all that stuff that's explicitly what they live stream or they upload onto YouTube. I don't want to do that. You know, I just want to be able to hop online, live stream what I feel like playing, and upload videos to different games that I play, and, you know, share my journeys on those games, whether it be F1 23 in the My Team era, or flight simulation with my Flights with American Virtual, and doing community fly-in events and all that kind of stuff. Or Call of Duty when I'm just online with my friends playing Search and Destroy. That's all stuff that I heavily plan on uploading. You know, just whatever I feel like playing, whatever games I feel like uploading to YouTube is what I'm going to do. You know, and if you guys want to stick around for it, you know, help me achieve the dream, then, you know, that's what we'll be here. Even if I don't, you know, become a full-time content creator, that's fine. You know, I like live streaming and uploading videos just 'cause it's something I enjoy to do. You know, and I found that passion just recently. You know, when American Virtual asked me to record and edit and publish some videos for training purposes. You know, although I'm not a real-world pilot, you know, when they asked me to do that, you know, I really found that I love recording and editing videos. So we'll see how it goes. Now, granted, I've just live streamed on YouTube yet. I haven't had the time to sit down and record and edit a full video and upload to the channel, but, you know, this is what we're going to do for now until I find that time, because my work schedule I don't have a lot of time during the day because I work the mid shift. I'll get off until 11 o'clock at Pacific time, hence why I'm streaming at 2 a.m. Pacific time. But, you know, that's the plan. We'll go from there. You know, I hope to build a live streaming platform. You know, I have a face cam right now, but I don't have I have a face cam, but I don't have it on right now because my room is kind of a disaster. I wouldn't even say disaster. It's just not presentable for a live stream. But you know, eventually the face cam will come on and all that kind of stuff, or I'll just keep myself as a man of mystery. You never know. All right, we're getting close to our top of descent. We're about 60 miles out, so we're gonna come over to our cruise page, our init ref. I'm gonna go ahead and plan a flaps 30 landing. 141 knots is what it's computing. Let's check out the weather in San Francisco. Weather as of 18:08:56 Zulu. 210 at 4 knots, 10 statute mile visibility, few clouds at 800 feet. Oh wow, or 8,000, I'm sorry. No, that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm misreading that. 8,000 feet, broken at 15,000. Temperature's 18, dew point 14, altimeter's 3000. Yeah, so pretty decent weather. Nothing of concern. Let's go ahead and check our arrival, though, into San Francisco and make sure that this matches in what we've got in our flight management computer. Make sure it's all altitude restrictions are there. So nearly at 280 knots above 20,000, which is there. Waves at 280 knots between 15 and 10,000. Why is this 15 and 19,000? Oh, there it goes. I'm sorry, waves 1915, epic at 10 to 15. Sorry, I was misreading the chart. Full at 240 knot, 8,000 above, below 240 knots at 6,000 for eddy. Perfect. Our ILS frequency, we're going to go and get this programmed now. One thing I learned in flight school in my short time of flying as a student pilot, one thing that my instructor said to me that has sat with me till this day is always be ahead of the airplane and don't let the airplane get ahead of you. So while I'm flying, I always like to make sure that I am ahead of the airplane, that I'm doing the things that are necessary, especially as a single pilot flying a commercial jet in a simulator. You want to make sure you're ahead of the airplane and you're ahead of the tasks that need to be performed in order to prep for takeoff or landing or cruise or whatever it might be. So set the ILS frequency at 111.7. That's the ILS frequency to 28 right. Course bug of 284. So 284 set on both sides. That's set, ready to go. And we are looking good. Our bottom altitude on the arrival, like I said, is 6,000. So I'm going to go ahead and set 6,000 in the MCP. Doing this because we do not have ATC online. If ATC was online, I would wait for instructions from them, whether I get a descend via the arrival or descend and maintain this altitude, slow to whatever speed they want me to slow to. For now, we're just going to follow the arrival, follow the altitudes, bottom altitude of that arrival, 6,000 feet. And we will just go from there. We'll vector ourselves in. If it's nice enough, we'll fly a visual landing. If not, we'll follow the ILS until about 1,000 feet. I'll take control of the airplane and we'll do some hand flying into the arrival. Shut the engine switches to the off position after 18,000 feet. That is my bad. Excuse me, I'm just texting my fiance. Her and her mother-in-law are on a road trip from Vegas to Illinois. They just got to Illinois, so I'm just checking in on them. We're coming up about 20 nautical miles to our top of descent. Again, like I said, I like to be ahead of the airplane, so keep it on the descent path page. Once we get about 10 nautical miles from the top of descent, I'm going to automatically press the descend now button, just so when the VNAV path captures the descent on the airplane, it's not diving us to 5,000–6,000 feet per minute descent rates. I noticed in simulators that's pretty common, which is not a good thing, but that's why I've gotten into the habit of descending the airplane just a little early so the VNAV path isn't as aggressive when it captures it on the airplane. About 13 nautical miles from our top descent is good enough for me. I'm going to click the send now button, click execute, and the aircraft is going to start its descent. Now, obviously, if you're flying with ATC, you're going to want to get clearance. to start your descent before you do it. ATC air traffic controllers on VATSIM are usually pretty good about giving you a descent via or a descent and maintain prior to your top of descent, as long as you're following the arrival, or they're going to give you vectors direct to the airport or whatever they decide to do. But because no ATC is online, we're just going to go ahead and descend on our own. You can see the VNAV path is about 1,500 feet above our airplane. Once the VNAV path starts to capture, then this pink diamond is going to start coming down, and once it captures, then the airplane will start a VNAV path down on the arrival. I'm not really too concerned about how deviated we are from the VNAV path. It's coming up on 2,000 feet because our next restriction is at Nurley. We're supposed to be above 20,000 feet, or flight level 200. You can see here, just dropped to about 1,000, so the VNAV path is going to start capturing itself. Once you see these numbers start to descend and this pink diamond start to come down, once it hits the middle, that's going to be the VNAV path, and the aircraft is going to capture it and follow the VNAV path down on the arrival. was the altimeter in San Francisco, so we're going to go ahead and get that set in the standby. See, it's set down here in the standby. So once we click the standard button on the altimeter, it will automatically set to 3000. Now it's just about monitoring the airplane and maintaining our restrictions and our airspeed. Make sure we don't blow through the restrictions, especially below 10,000 feet restriction at 250 knots. It's an FAA restriction. It's something that needs to be followed unless given instructions by an air traffic controller. Ask me how I know that. I blew through a 250 knot restriction at like 8,000 feet on VATSIM one night. The air traffic controller was not happy about it, but that's because I let the airplane get away from me. Flying the airplane first is the most important objective. Aviate, navigate, and then communicate. Make sure you are flying your airplane. Whether it's in a simulator, real life, in a full motion simulator, whatever it may be, make sure you are flying your airplane. Stay in control of it. Alright, you can see now, VNAV path is capturing. Now you can see the airplane is going to start giving us a better descent rate than just 1,000 feet per minute. You can see now we're 1,500, 16, 17, and climbing. Now the airplane is going to stay on this VNAV path and follow the arrival down on the Surfer arrival. Is it the Surfer? Yes, Surfer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Surfer 4. Get the fast seatbelt sign on, make sure people are coming back to their seats, fastening their seatbelts for the arrival. And we are starting our descent into San Francisco. I said we would do a return trip to LA, but looking at the time, I started this stream really late, and I do have work tomorrow, so once we get down on the ground in San Francisco, the stream is probably going to end. We will stay in San Francisco. We'll do the return leg tomorrow. I want to try and get up a little earlier than normal and get a stream in before work. But streaming at 2 o'clock in the morning Pacific time is not going to help me try and grow this channel, not one bit. I need a stream when people are awake, not asleep. And we are looking good. Everybody is at 280 knots. That's the restriction for the next few waypoints. Sorry, just dropped something. Continuing down on our arrival. Now you guys might ask if you come back and watch this video after the stream is done, Mike, why are you on XPlane? Microsoft is such a better looking simulator. Well, it might be a better looking simulator, and it is very aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. I will give it that. However, one thing that I love about XPlane and that Microsoft is yet to perfect is the flight dynamics. Airplanes in the simulator of XPlane fly so much better than the airplanes in Microsoft. I will argue this till the day I die until Microsoft decides to fix their flight model. Now, granted, I know their flight model is a bit restricted due to the SDKs, but it's a personal preference of mine. And I love XPlane. I love the fact that this 737 is free. Now, I have the PMDG, I have the Phoenix Airbus, I have Microsoft, and I might stream it, you know, but I have sunk an obscene amount of money into this simulator and the airplanes and the add-ons that I have, and starting from scratch in Microsoft, although really all I have to purchase are the airplanes and the airport scenery, is not something that I'm ready to do. Now, we will fly in it in Microsoft, because I love the Phoenix. I am an Airbus nut. That's kind of a catch-22, because my first stream, or aviation stream, however, a simulator stream on YouTube was in a Boeing. That's because as of recent, I just had to record a training video for American Virtual in the 737, and I forgot about this airplane because I've been flying Airbus so much because I'm a huge Airbus fan. I love the A320 fan. And the TOLUS Airbuses and XPlane are fantastic. But when I flew the 737 for that training video, there's 18,000 feet. We're going to switch standard to 3000 in the altimeters. I'm going to make sure that's still correct, which it is. Anyway, when I recorded and uploaded or published that training video in the 737 for our training, the training portion of the VA, I kind of dusted this airplane off and was like, oh man, I really forgot about how much I love the 737. It's just such a sophisticated airplane, and it feels very old school with the amount of knobs and switches that you have to turn and get the airplane prepped and ready to go. In the Airbus, it's just a couple of buttons and bam, you're ready to go. You're ready for engine start, you're ready for APU start, whatever. But that's why I'm flying the 7.3 right now, is because I haven't flown the 737 in a very long time. And I do have a newfound appreciation for this airplane every time I fly it. This is what happens every time, because I fly the Airbus so much, I don't fly the 7.3 for a very long time. And then when I do, I find out and remember how much I actually love this airplane. Now, I believe Airbus is superior. You can come at me in the comments for that. I'll argue with you all day. But I love both equally. Airbus is my preference, but I will still fly a Boeing every now and then. And especially because I fly for American Virtual almost every time I get on the simulator, and Air American has so many more Airbuses in their fleet, Airbus routes, than they do in the 737. But back on the Microsoft thing, I've flown Microsoft. I have a little over 100 hours in that simulator. It's not a bad simulator, it really isn't, but there are still things that they need to fix. The last time I flew on that simulator, I flew a route from Phoenix, Arizona to Portland, Oregon, right? We're coming up, sorry, excuse me, coming out of 13,000 feet, we're going to be coming out of 10,000. Remember that restriction of speed restriction, I'm sorry, at 10,000 feet at 250 knots, so that's something that I want to make sure that I pay attention to and that we don't blow through. But anyway, I was flying that route in the Phoenix A320 from Phoenix, Arizona to Portland, Oregon. And on my arrival into Portland, the weather said that the winds were variable at 4 knots or 5 knots, something like that. It was like next to no wind. And it was 10 statute mile visibility. Now in the simulator, 10 statute mile visibility was very accurate. However, the winds, it was saying I had a 45 knot crosswind across the nose on my approach to the runway. And when the weather updated, it damn near put my airplane into the ground. And that is one thing that I do not like about Microsoft, is their weather updates. They need to get that under control because it is so severe sometimes. And here's how I'll say it. A couple of nights ago, I flew a route in the TOLUS A321neo from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles, California, right? That was a 4.5-hour flight. I didn't have a single problem in X-Plane. Not a single bad weather update. Not a single crashed desktop. Nothing. But Microsoft, every time I fly it, I chance the fact that the sim is going to crash, or there are going to be such severe weather updates that it's going to potentially jeopardize the integrity of my airplane. And I don't like wasting time in a simulator. If I do a flight, I want to be able to... Now we're coming up on 10,000 feet. We're going to get the landing lights on. Runway turn-offs, taxis. Our engine switches back to continuous, logo and wing light on. And we're going to make sure that the airplane does slow down below 250 knots so we don't blow through that restriction. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. I don't like chancing that every time I fly on the simulator or on Microsoft that I'm going to get a crashed desktop, because I like doing anywhere from 1.5-hour flights to 5-hour flights. I fly within the 48 contiguous states, and that's just what I prefer to do. So here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set 240 knots in the MCP. I'm going to make sure the airplane follows that, because it's our next speed restriction. After that, we're going to slow to 210, get some flaps out. Auto brakes, we're going to go ahead and set to 1. Just going to maintain the airplane. But in X-Plane, I have maybe a couple of times since I started flying this simulator did I have issues with crash to desktops, severe weather updates, anything like that. And I prefer it this way. Now granted, X-Plane might not be as aesthetically pleasing to the eye, but it's still a gorgeous simulator. I mean, look at that night lighting across. We're coming up across the Bay Area. You know, it still looks gorgeous. And I have ortho imagery across the entire United States, so I still get the satellite imagery and the good, not the default mesh that X-Plane comes with. Now granted, in Microsoft, you get that stock with the simulator when you buy it, but still, you know, the flight dynamics in Microsoft are unacceptable in my opinion. You have Microsoft, who is developing this program. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they released this simulator unfinished. And all these sim updates that they're doing is that should have been done prior to them releasing the simulator. Now, I still fly it because the simulator does have potential, but until that potential is noticed and is reached, I'm going to stick with X-Plane for right now. We'll fly Microsoft because the Phoenix is a fantastic airplane. I think Phoenix is one of the best developers that has ever hit the flight simulation market. But I am still very much so an X-Plane flyer. I'm thinking about upgrading to X-Plane 12, but that's just a lot of file copy and paste from X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12 that I'm not ready to do. That's going to take me hours because I have over, 2 terabytes worth of memory in my hard drive for this simulator. I have 1 hard drive in my computer that is specific to X-Plane, and I am not ready to make the transfer for some 3D clouds. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is we are going to go down to 3,000 feet. I'm going to put us on a heading, let's say a 340 heading to intercept the ILS, right, and we're going to descend 3,000 feet. So I'm going to click altitude intervene. I'm going to slow the airplane down to 210 knots. I'm going to get some speed brakes out. And we're going to descend to, actually, we're going to call it 4,000 feet for right now. Get those speed brakes out. So we're going to go into vertical speed mode because it's descending pretty rapidly. I'm going to go to about 1,800 feet. I'm going to start slowing the airplane down and start getting configured for the arrival into San Francisco. Buzz sound means 1,000 to go. We're at 4,800 feet. Descend at 4,000. Now I'm going to move that descent down to 3,000. We're going to act as if ATC gave us a vector right turn to heading 340, descend and maintain 3,000. That's what we're doing right now. Put us on an intercept heading for the localizer to 28, right? So we should intercept at about Seepin. Now we'll make a left turn and start getting configured for the landing. Coming out at 230 knots, so I'm going to get flaps 2 out. wireless frequencies are active, which they are. Course is set to 284. We're all set, looking good. I gotta turn that setting off. That strobe setting is a bit much. Alright, there's 210 knots. I'm gonna stow our speed brakes. We're at 3,000 feet. I'm going to give us a slight left turn, 10 degrees to the left. I'm going to arm the localizer. I'm going to go flaps 5. Get our speed brakes armed. Can I turn this off right now? Visual effects. Strobe effect in cockpit off. Thank you, Jesus. Alright, localizer has been captured. Airplane is making a left-hand turn to get onto the localizer for 2A right, which it has. Our glide slope is alive. There's this pink diamond coming down, so we're going to go and arm the approach. Going to slow us down to 190 knots. There's the airport. Airport's in sight. Still in the clouds. I'm going to go gear down, flaps 10. And we're doing a flaps 30 arrival. And our VREF speed is 141. We're going to do that +5 for 146. We're 7.5 miles from the runway, so we're going to start getting slowed down to our VREF speed. 146. Airplane is slowly starting to slow down. Flaps 15.
2,500.
I mean, come on, you can't tell me this doesn't look good for XPlane 11. Flaps 25. And flaps 30. It's going to be our final for the arrival. I mean, come on. Like, this simulator still looks beautiful. Alright, there's a glide slope. Get my pedals ready to go. Now watch my first live stream doing flight simulation on YouTube. I'm going to botch this landing and absolutely smash the runway. Alright, we're on the glide slope. We are VREF. Plane's trimming itself out, 1,700 feet above ground level. It's like a, get about between 5 and 750 feet. I'll take control of the airplane. Approach brief has been completed. Seatbelt sign is on. Pilot announcement has been completed. Recall has been checked. Recall is good. Auto brakes are set and as required. Speed brakes are armed with the green light. Landing gear is down and green. Flaps are set with the green light.
1,000.
We have been cleared to land. It's 1,000 feet. Go ahead and take control of the airplane. Autopilot's coming off. Auto throttle's coming off. My airplane. Hopefully I don't botch this airplane. We're getting a little high on the glide slope. Just gonna pitch nose down just a little bit. Pitch from the altitude. Catch that diamond. Make sure we maintain 2 white, 2 red on the poppy lights. However, I do have the runway in sight, so I'm going to be flying the airplane down to the runway.
400.
Yes, I keep doing that.
300.
It's 300 feet.
200.
A little high on the airspeed, so
100.
100 feet.
50. 40.
Start
30.
flaring.
20.
Throttles.
10.
And we're down. A little right on the center line, so we'll correct that. Reverses are out. And we are decelerating. Reverses down at idle. Brakes are mine. Take the high speed on the left-hand side. I think in real life, if I'm not mistaken, this taxiway's been closed, but it's here in the simulator, so we're going to use it. And we are down on the ground. Welcome to San Francisco. Keep the lights on because we're going to be passing 28 left here. Keep the airplane in its configuration right now until we get clear of the next runway. Reverse is stowed. I thought I pressed that button, but I guess I didn't. Clean up the flaps. Alright, we are entering an active runway, so we're going to go ahead and keep the landing lights and strobes on and all that kind of good stuff. We're looking for gate Bravo 22 tonight. So I'm going to pull up our charts. Parking gates. Bravo 22 is all the way down on the west side of the airport. Yeah, the west side, southwest side. Alright, we are clear of the active runways. We get our landing lights off, if they will work with me. Runway turn-offs coming off, taxi lights staying on, logo light can stay on, with lights coming off. We get a taxi down to the Bravo gates at Terminal 1. And welcome to San Francisco. Relatively uneventful flight. It's pretty nice. Landing could have been better, but 216 feet per minute. It's not bad. That's what the ACARS is telling me. Transition us over to Alpha. We'll take Alpha in. This is an old San Francisco scenery. I haven't bought the new one yet. Used to see the Virgin America static airplanes that the developer put in this scenery, but it's still decent scenery for being free. Alright, get the APU turning. Light on, I'm gonna set it dim. Turn these background lights off. Bravo 22, if that gate is occupied, we'll take another gate. Pretty smooth flight. Not bad for the first flight simulation live stream on YouTube. Bravo 22 is going to be coming up on our right-hand side. It's going to be this terminal here. Ooh, I forgot to turn the strobes off. Look at that. Kennedy Steve was controlling San Francisco, he'd be having my ass right now. I think I need to buy updated scenery because these gate numbers are incorrect. Oh, no, it's not. No, that's 32. Man. Yeah. I'm gonna have to buy the updated scenery for San Francisco. I don't fly into San Francisco very often, which is why I still have this old scenery. No, that's fine. We'll just take a gate over here. American Park's over here anyway, so we'll just take a gate over here. Is that A380 over there? Yeah, it is. It's such an ugly airplane. Don't kill me for that. Let's take this gate right here. 31. That looks good to me. This looks like it's the southwest gate. Whatever. That's why it's a simulator. Follow the marshaller in. CX, brakes, parking brake is set, APU is coming on, APU gens, APU bleed, master warning, that's fine. Alright, engine 2 is coming down, engine 1's coming down. And beacon light's coming off, jetway's going to start moving, and welcome to San Francisco. Very, very nice flight. And now, if we come over to our ACAR system, like I said, for American Virtual, right, you can see engine 2 is off, engine 1 is off. We touched down at negative 216 feet per minute, 0 Gs, 136 knot, 2 degree pitch, and 0 degree bank. Not a bad landing. Alright, so I'm happy with that. Make sure there's nothing in there that's stupid. And we're good. So we're going to come down here, we're going to click File Pirate. Smart Car is just going to do its thing. If it ever decides to do its thing. Alright, Pirate filed with American Virtual and Smart Cars Premium. Fantastic. Now we can see this was our route. This is our log. See that tracked our entire flight. There's a couple of cool things in here. You can show our fuel burn. But looking good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of Smart Cars. We're going to come over to American Virtual. I'm going to have to re-log in, I guarantee it. Yep. Alright, if we come over here to my reports, you can see here American 1528 LAX to SFO has been filed and it is pending approval. Alright, and if I wanted to edit this pirate, which, actually, no, I'm sorry. My reports. There we go. Click on the flight number. See, it has been filed. And now one of these staff members just has to come in, make sure everything's set within regulation, and they will accept it. All right. Let's go ahead and get a replay going, huh? Let's see what this landing actually looked like. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. We were still connected to VATSIM, but automatically disconnected. That's fine. Let's go ahead and check out this landing. Wasn't perfect, but it definitely wasn't terrible either. I'll do a good tower view of it. Get my music going. Where did I put music? There it is. Let's take a look at this landing. You know, I flared a little bit too early, but not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for the stream tonight. We're not going to do the return leg. It is late. I do need to get some sleep before work tomorrow. However, if I get up early enough, we'll expect to do the return leg to LA tomorrow and maybe another flight after that. We will be doing some more American Virtual Ops in that stream. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with some more replays of this landing. Really hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you come across this video at a later time, feel free to hit the subscribe button if you wish to do so, and click the notification bell so you get notified when I am live streaming or upload a video. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit me with a like. It is free to do so. It doesn't cost anything. If you don't like the video, feel free to leave a dislike. I'm always open to constructive criticism. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys next time.
Got 911